Have you ever reached a point in your twin flame journey where you thought, maybe I should just let him go? But then another voice inside whispered, am I healing or am I simply giving up? This is one of the biggest questions people ask during separation. Many believe that detachment means forgetting your twin flame. Others think that if you stop chasing, you're abandoning the connection. And some force themselves to move on while secretly hoping their twin flame comes back. Today we are going to unpack one of the most misunderstood concepts in this journey. What is the difference between healthy detachment and emotionally giving up? By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize which one you're experiencing and why the difference matters so much for your healing. Before we dive deeper, it is important to remember that the twin flame concept is a spiritual belief rather than a scientifically established fact. This video is not about proving whether someone is your twin flame. It is about helping you build a healthier relationship with yourself. So hello my divine family. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness, with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach Neha. In today's episode, we will be understanding the meaning between detachment and giving up. Now, what does detachment actually mean? One of the biggest misconceptions is that detachment means you stop loving someone. It doesn't. Healthy detachment means your emotional well-being is no longer completely dependent on another person's actions. You may still love them deeply, you may still wish them well, but your peace no longer rises and falls based on whether they text you, call you, choose you, or return. Detachment is not the absence of love. It is actually the absence of emotional dependency. Love can remain and will always remain, whereas dependency begins to dissolve as you heal. Now, what does giving up mean? Giving up comes from exhaustion. When a person cannot handle the journey anymore, when they are tired or they don't care, but underneath those feelings, there is often unresolved pain. Giving up is frequently an emotional defense mechanism. Sometimes our nervous system becomes so overwhelmed that it tries to protect us by shutting down. That shutdown can feel like indifference. But numbness is not the same as healing. Psychology sometimes refers to this as emotional suppression or emotional disengagement, where feelings are pushed away rather than processed. Healing allows emotions to move through us, whereas suppression buries them. Many people think that they're attached because they love deeply, but often they're attached because their nervous system has become conditioned to uncertainty. If someone is emotionally inconsistent, sometimes close, sometimes distant, the brain can become hyper-focused on seeking resolution. This pattern is well documented in psychology. Unpredictable reinforcement can strengthen emotional fixation. In a twin flame context, this may feel like spiritual longing. Sometimes it is a spiritual longing, but sometimes it's also an activated attachment system. Both the experiences can coexist at the same time. Understanding this doesn't make your feelings less meaningful. Instead, it helps you respond to them more wisely. Now you may be wondering that why to detach in this journey? Because healthy detachment after you have healed and ascended often feels surprisingly peaceful. During that stage, you stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You'll stop analyzing every social media post, synchronicities, or asking tarot readers. Instead, you will be feeling completely different. You will focus on your needs and attentions. You will be focused on your healing. You will focus more on your self-love. And your focus gradually shifts from controlling another person's path to nurturing your own path and healing. On the other hand, giving up often feels heavy rather than peaceful, because there may be bitterness, resentment, and emotional numbness, or sometimes a determination to convince yourself that you never cared about the other person. Sometimes people enter new relationships immediately in such situations, not because they are genuinely ready, but because they are trying to escape unresolved grief, pain, and they try to escape the healing process. But this isn't necessarily wrong. In such situations, it's very important to ask yourself that are you moving forward or are you trying to run away from this journey? And only your honest self-reflection can answer that. Many people in this journey confuse surrender with giving up. But let me tell you, both the terms are different. Surrender has a different meaning, while giving up has a different meaning. Giving up means you no longer have that hope or patience, and you no longer see any future. You start believing that nothing good can happen in this situation. Whereas, if you surrender, you release the need to control the outcome. While you surrender, you have faith in the journey, you have faith in your healing and your inner work. Giving up is driven by hopelessness, whereas surrender is rooted in trust. But when you put your trust and you try to surrender in this journey, your life can still be meaningful regardless of the outcome. Now, I will tell you a few signs that you are moving towards healthy detachment and not giving up. You genuinely want the other person to heal, even if their path looks different from yours. You no longer sacrifice your mental, emotional, or physical health while waiting. You respect your own boundaries as much as you respect theirs. You invest in friendships, purpose, hobbies, work, and personal growth. You can hold love and uncertainty at the same time without feeling consumed by either. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sadness or grief. Healing doesn't erase grief. It simply changes your relationship with it. You get used to the grief. You get used to the sadness, but at the same time, you prioritize your well-being and your healing. Now, you might be giving up rather than detaching. Some of the situations that I'm going to tell you where it's not surrendering or detachment, but it is giving up. In such situations, you try to prove that you no longer care. You avoid any reminder because the emotions feels unbearable. You rush into distractions to escape your feelings. You tell yourself love is foolish because you're afraid of being hurt again. You make emotional numbness for peace. Healing invites emotions to be acknowledged, whereas giving up often tries to silence and numb them. Now, in this journey, when we chase another person to reduce our own anxiety, we may unintentionally reinforce a cycle of emotional dependence. The more we chase, the more our nervous system believes that our safety depends on another person's response. Over time, this can increase distress rather than relieve it. Detachment interrupts that cycle not by withdrawing love, but by reclaiming your inner stability. Now, one of the most common questions asked in this journey is that can reunion still happen after detachment? Detachment is not a technique to attract someone back. If you detach solely to make them return, you are still emotionally attached to the outcome. That means you are not detached. Healthy detachment means accepting that reunion is one possibility and not the only possibility. Ironically, many people become more authentic, grounded, and emotionally available through this process. Whether that leads to reunion depends on many factors, including both individuals' choices. No one can guarantee a specific outcome. Many spiritual traditions they teach non-attachment not because love is unimportant. They teach detachment because clinging creates suffering. Loving someone does not require controlling them. Supporting someone does not require abandoning yourself, and compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Healthy spirituality encourages both love and discernment. It reminds us that self-respect and empathy can coexist. So, you need to ask yourself that are you ready to detach by sending love, healing to the other person, by not expecting the other person to come back into your life? Are you ready to choose detachment by choosing yourself and not expecting when the separation phase will end? So, whether you believe that detachment is important or giving up is important, the invitation is the same. You have to love deeply. Unconditional love is required in this journey. You have to feel honestly whether you are really detaching or you are trying to show or put a false mask and try to show that you are giving up on the other person just to escape the pain, the grief, and the healing. You need to understand that whether you are creating healthy boundaries in this journey. Are you really caring for your nervous system or releasing what you cannot control? Because true detachment isn't walking away from love. It's actually walking away from fear. The fear that keeps you small. The fear that keeps you away from healing. The fear that keeps you away from facing your own demons. It is choosing peace without closing your heart. It's remembering that your worth has never depended on another person's ability to recognize it. And perhaps this is one of the deepest forms of healing. So, have you experienced true detachment or you are still learning to let go of control? You need to decide this based on your own discernment. Healing isn't about becoming emotionally distant. It is about becoming emotionally free. So if you like this episode, do like, share, subscribe and comment. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again in another episode.